Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today was big earnings update for AMD, Google, Microsoft, and Starbucks. And you can see bloodbath everywhere. Google down 5.6%, AMD down 6.28%, Microsoft down slightly 1%, not much. And even that's affecting other big stocks. Amazon is down almost 2%, Meta is down 2.6%, NVDA is down 2.28. So results were bad on Google and AMD especially, and that's putting the stock market down, and that's also affecting semiconductor stocks. And however, Starbucks was pretty good. You can see it's up almost 4.2% after hours, and you can see my signals were always on the sell signal, sell side, and you can see there was a sell signal here around 1:25 a.m. This morning, and you can see sell signal remained in sell signal. This 100 range chart, this 80 range chart gave a sell signal around you can see around 29th of Jan, which is Monday, and remained in sell. And you can see this flip. If I zoom in a bit, you can see this cloud flip. This is a neo cloud. You can see neo cloud flip to red, and it remained in red. Although we got a sell signal, but in order to predict perfect buy and sell entry, you have to wait for this line to hit below this white line or go above this white line. And you can see we never went above this white line. We always stayed below white line. Now we are going towards below this white line. So this is probably going to be a good buy for tomorrow morning. But you can see Neo Cloud is still red. We're just going very, very fast down. This is because of sell-off in all these big FANG stocks. Also, this other indicator, this is let's zoom in a bit, and this is what we're going to do to analyze. You can see this is also in the sell side right now. You can see it was in the sell signal here. Now we're getting closer to buy side. So you can see this morning we were here, and then from there we dumped, and now we are down 1.8%. So very nice trades on Nasdaq. Very, very easy short, and now it's looking good for the next move higher. So anyhow, let's do analysis now on let's see. Let me show Bitcoin, and actually before I go there, you can see even on Bitcoin here. Let's start with Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin here. If I zoom in, if I you can see how nicely it came from sell side to now going to buy zone. You can see it came to sell side around 43,776. Now it's going to the buy side. It's above below 42,670. So now easy trades here from Bitcoin from sell to buy, almost 2.5%. Ethereum, however, is also now going down. You can see it was in massive sell side. Now I think it's going to go all the way down to 22.94. So from here, I think it can still go down almost 2.5%. All right. So I just wanted to show you Bitcoin and Ethereum charts before we go further. So let's go back to this chart. Let's open it, and then let's do an analysis. Let's do quickly a gap analysis of all these big stocks before we go further. And I wanted to show you something here on Tesla. If I go to regular trading hours, you can see here Tesla regular trading hours. There is a gap here around. So we had a gap up on Tesla this exact day on 29th of January. We gapped up, and now there's a gap here. So eventually they're coming back to fill this gap. So you can see if I add extended trading hours, you can see it's touching the gap. So tomorrow, most likely, we're going to fill on this gap, and that will be a really good time to buy Tesla, in my opinion. If you want to hold Tesla for long term, good time to buy. All right. So that's on Tesla. Let's quickly go through a gap check, and then we're gonna analyze stock market triple Qs opening on a big gap down. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mark the top gap with yellow line. Here you go, and we know tomorrow it's just gonna be a big gap down on triple Q. So we all remember that. Same thing with the S&P 500 SPY ETF. We're gonna mark top gap with the white line. Okay, let's do the same thing with Dow Jones. No gaps on Dow Jones. IWM also no gaps, so it's all good. And Tesla, I think it's gonna most likely open with a gap down as well. There was a news, Elon Musk they canceled his shares bonus, so there was some news regarding that, and now stock is down. 55 billion Tesla pay package, so a judge ruled out, so that's why stock is down. Apple, and there are no gaps, but yeah, it's still flat. So let's quickly scan this big. Let's quickly scan gold. There's nothing here, and then big these FANG stock. Netflix is down, so it was a gap down, so we're going to mark top gap with yellow. Amazon, so it's going to be down again tomorrow, so we're going to mark it with yellow here. Actually, let's go back to Netflix. It's still not tomorrow. It's still going to be okay, I think. Facebook is also down, so let's mark with yellow. And Microsoft is also down, so let's mark with yellow. And Google is also down, so almost 6%, so we're going to mark with yellow. And AMD down uh, almost 6% as well. So we're going to delete this gap because it's going to be a bigger gap opening tomorrow. Snowflakes is also same thing here. So we're going to mark with yellow gaps here. We're just going to do it quickly on our major stocks which we monitor, and NVDA, AVGO, same thing here. There you go. All right. So let's go to Bitcoin now. Let's quickly do daily analysis. So gap analysis, Bitcoin chart. So a gap down. So let's mark a top gap with the even CME futures with the yellow here. So let me zoom in a bit, little bit lower. There you go. Ethereum. Let's see. Ethereum also gap down. So top gaps are marked with yellow. So one thing to note, one good news is a gap is open to the top. So let's do Bitcoin analysis. This is daily chart. You can see I have this red box. I did not change anything. If you watch my show from yesterday, you know exactly. There's a big resistance. Now we are gapping down. Okay, so this yellow line is a gap to fill. And I think now from here we could go down, fill these other gaps, 39,835, 39,325. These are the other two gaps on Bitcoin. So if that happens, then that's almost 8% down. This could be a lower high, okay, before we go down. And there are gaps around 34,155, 29,740, 26,295, and the last gap is around 21,555. So just be mindful of these gaps before get too bullish on crypto. Ethereum, again, there are two gaps. If I go to 1 hour chart, one thing to show, Ethereum did come to fill this. There was a gap here. Where did it go? Okay, okay, never mind. So there was a gap. There's still a gap here around 2484. I thought that was filled. It's still not filled. So now there are two gaps here. Okay. So go back to daily chart. So maybe this is it. Or we might go still higher to fill this gap before we go down. Eventually, we either go now down now or we go down later. Eventually, we'll be coming to 1850 at some point. So remember that and to trade accordingly. VIX. So that's it for crypto. I'm going to go to VIX. VIX 1 hour chart. You can see here this gap was there yesterday. I was telling you. So now it's filled. So we can delete this. So now there is no gap to the downside. So that means VIX is ready to move higher. So from here, VIX can pump, and if it pumps, it can touch 16.83 and then 21.25 in February. So we got to be slightly careful here. And let's go to SPY after VIX, which is inverse to S&P, inverse to VIX, which is fair in the market. So you can see S&P 500 SPY ETF 1 hour chart. It's here. You can see this blue line. This is where we are opening on a gap down. Tomorrow, that's where we will be opening most likely tomorrow. And I had this topping process, so we might be topping out, and then we're going to eventually go a little bit lower. And this gap is going to be filled for sure, 482. Now, I don't know if you're going to come all the way down to fill this gap around 468, or there is some support here. At minimum, I think we can draw a box like this. So I think at minimum, we are going here to find some support, all right, in my opinion. And let's go to triple Qs, which is Nasdaq ETF. Same thing here. You're opening on a gap down. There will be a gap on yellow. And again, I think there are two gaps here, 413 and 407. We're gonna most likely go down, fill these two gaps here. All right. Dow Jones just flat, nothing much. It's gonna do same as S&P 500. IWM was down 0.85. There's a gap here. Probably it's gonna come to 192.61 as the next target. And Tesla, so you can see we try to reverse, and now we're going back down all the way after that news. I think we're going to fill this gap at 183, but still we can still bounce from there and then go higher. So actually this gap is going to be a big gap down. So if it opens on a gap down, that's going to be quick opportunity to get 3% quick profit here. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If you want to trade Tesla for that, take that action early morning. All right, gold. Let me add the moving averages here. So that's going to be better. And then also PPO and oscillator matrix. Here you go. So this becomes a bit easier to analyze. Gold is holding nicely above all moving averages, so still making higher highs. So everything is looking good. Silver also holding above these both support lines. So still everything is looking good. Finding little resistance on this yellow line and this light blue line, which is 200 EMA. Yellow line is 50 EMA. So I think once it breaks, it's going to be free to move higher. Apple, big day. Still could be a higher low, but looks like more likely it wants to come and fill this gap around 182.96. So it looks like a massive move down, but still above this white line, which is 20 moving average. As long as it stays above that, it can still bounce. But if it breaks tomorrow, it's sitting right on support. If it breaks tomorrow, I think it's going to come back all the way down to fill this gap around 182.96. So just be a bit careful on Apple. Crude oil looking good, so looks like going higher. Yesterday was a back test and now getting higher, ready to go higher. This 200 EMA is acting as a resistance, so let's see if it can break. This is around 77.9. If that breaks, it's going to be set free. Natural gas, nice move today, almost was up 2%. And if I hide this chart, you know there's a gap here around 2.1898. So I think it's going to most likely fill this gap before it goes down in February to a new low. Okay, and that should be a divergent low whenever that happens. Dollar looking nice, just flagging out, going ready for a big breakout. So if it's going to act as a flag, sorry, if it acts as a black flag, it's going to go higher to around 105. And I already covered crypto. Hang Seng Index, just wait for this trend line to break. As long as it's above this trend line, nothing interesting right now on Hang Seng Index China. And let's quickly scan through commodities. Copper looking nice by the dip. Soybeans, nice. Looks like a double bottom. Well, not double bottom. New low with higher divergence on RSI and PPO and massive move higher. So tomorrow if it close above, then it's going to be very good. Sugar also looks like buy the dip. So if you get a new dip, look to buy. Wheat also trying its best, holding this support. If I bring in moving averages, you can see here above this red, all these multiple moving averages above all. Next resistance is this 200 SMA, which is acting as resistance. If it close above this around 604, that's going to be bullish. Corn finally showing some move and still finding resistance on this white line, but still this could be a double bottom on corn, and if it is, then it's going to be a very bullish move. All right. Gold, a Newmont mine, still hovering around 52 weeks low, and still green line is below red line. So let's wait for this to cross to be bullish again. Still consolidating. This is near 52 weeks low, so I don't think it can go much lower. Downside is limited in my opinion. And gold miners, GDX, multiple gaps on the green. Just look for 27.9, 27.8, 27.65, and then last gap is 27.14. So, and then major stock, Netflix, above all moving averages, multiple gaps. All these green lines are the gaps to fill. And Amazon, you can see there's divergence. PPO is making lower high, and then RSI is making lower high. Also have a sell signal here, which was on a new all-time high. So this was telling you to sell. So I think you should still sell it. Earnings is, I think, on Thursday. This is an Apple, so be a bit careful. Meta, same thing here. Meta's earnings is also on Thursday. Okay, so again, Meta has no, well, it does have divergence on, you can see PPO. If I zoom out, you can see picking lower high. RSI is also no divergence on RSI, major divergence. So Meta could be one which might move higher. So be careful. This chart looks incredibly bullish, but I think short term a dip will be healthier. Microsoft flat looks like it did great. And let's see, I think there's still divergence. So, and we did have a sell signal a couple of days ago. So if it dips, look to buy it. Google is the one which is down heavily. All these green lines are the gaps. It looks like it wants to open around 145. It can go as low as 143. So if it comes here, that's good area to buy. AMD also down 6%. It's here right now, 161. And then I think the next support is around 146.72. So be careful here. Snowflakes, there's a gap around 193. That's the next target. NVDA, next target is there's a gap here around 601. Let's say $600. The other gap is around 576. These two are potential targets. AVGO also going down. Next target is around 1146. All right, guys, that's it for today, and hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, just shoot a comment. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.